The Profound Concentration of Nectar is a key Dzogchen text within the Longchen Nyingtik cycle, revealed by Jamyang Khyentse Wangpo, a pivotal figure in the 19th century Rimé movement. This profound work offers a visionary synthesis of the path of great perfection, emphasizing the effortless resting in Rigpa, the luminous, empty nature of mind. Framed as a nectar-like transmission of wisdom, it condenses the heart of the Longchen Nyingtik into a poetic and experiential meditation. The text inspires deep devotion, samadhi, and direct realization, making it a treasured guide for those engaging in advanced Dzogchen practice. This is a rather long text with a number of sections. I have divided it into 3 recordings. Each recording begins with a brief explanation of the 3 parts, so that listeners attempting to accomplish the practice do not become confused. For more information about the Longchen Nyingtik cycle, please refer to the notes accompanying the recording. Longchen Nyingtik Teachings, 1 of 3. A profound concentration of nectar. Essentialized stages of visualization for the preliminary practices of the heart essence of the vast expanse by Jamyang Khyentse Wangpo. Namo Gurubhya. This is a guide to regularly practicing the stages of the preliminaries of the Dzogchen Longchen Nyingtik. We shall start with the ordinary preliminaries and the first 2 stages of the extraordinary preliminaries, finishing before the instructions on meditation begin. Instructions on meditation and concluding teachings of the extraordinary preliminaries are presented in 2 further recordings. Thus, there are 3 recordings altogether on the profound concentration of nectar of the Longchen Nyingtik cycle, written by Jamyang Khyentse Wangpo. May your practice be fruitful. Let us begin. At dawn, when it is time to get up, imagine that your root master appears in the sky before you in the form of Orgyen Dorje Chang, the Vajradhara of Odhyana. He is surrounded by hosts of dakas and dakins, all playing damaru hand drums, which resonate with the sound of mantra, awakening you from your sleep. As you rise, visualize your body in the form of the deity and your environment as a pure realm. Consider that the Lama in your heart ascends the central channel to the space above the crown of your head and remains there, joyfully. Then, with your body in the correct posture, exhale the foul air 9 times and rest for a short while, allowing your mind to settle in its natural state. When you have thus become a suitable vessel for meditation, practice the blessing of the speech that begins, Om Aham. From the syllable Ram arises fire, consuming my tongue. If you wish to practice more elaborately, you can recite the calling the Lama from afar, beginning with, You are the one whose kindness can bring great joy. In the actual practice of the preliminaries, there are the ordinary outer preliminaries and the extraordinary inner preliminaries. 1. The ordinary preliminaries. There are 6 stages of contemplation in the ordinary preliminaries, all of which can be practiced together, one after another, reciting, From the blossoming lotus of devotion at the center of my heart, etc., reflect as follows. Essentially, there are 8 freedoms, which are the opposites of the 8 states, where there is no chance of engaging in Dharma practice. then more particularly there are 10 endowments. Together, these 18 freedoms and endowments characterize a precious human existence, which is of inconceivable benefit, but also extremely rare, as the reflections on cause, analogies, and numerical statistics prove. You are now in possession of such a precious human body, but even this outer world, which appears so solid and so stable, will ultimately be destroyed by 7 great fires and 1 great flood, leaving nothing behind, not even ashes. And as for the beings who inhabit this world, there has never been a single one who was born that did not die. So death will certainly come to you too, and there is no guarantee that it will not come this very night. At the time of your death, nothing but the completely pure Dharma will be of any benefit. And once you have died, your future will be determined solely by your past actions. As a result of harmful actions, you will be reborn in the 3 lower realms, where you must face the unendurable suffering of suffering. Even if you have accumulated imperfect positive actions and are reborn in the 3 higher realms, there will still be no going beyond the suffering of change or the all-pervasive suffering of conditioned existence. So, you must do whatever is necessary right now in order to gain liberation from the great ocean of suffering that is samsara. For this, you should rely on a qualified spiritual friend of the Mahayana, whom you should please in the 3 ways. You should adopt or avoid whatever he or she instructs you to, and be careful not to fall under the influence of childish friends or those who act in harmful ways. Recognizing that the Dharma alone will benefit you at the moment of death and in the future, practice it as much as possible in the course of every single day. In order to practice like this, consider that the Guru and the 3 jewels care for you and generate a strong sense of renunciation. 2. The extraordinary preliminaries. There are the 6 sections of the extraordinary preliminaries. In this recording, we will start with 1, taking refuge, and 2, generating bodhicitta, compassion for all other living beings. 1. Taking refuge. For this, you should adopt the attitude of a great being and consider that you are taking refuge in the Master and the 3 jewels in order to liberate yourself and all other sentient beings from the terrible sufferings of samsara. Consider that the whole area where you are sitting is a beautiful paradise, pleasing to the mind. Upon the bejeweled ground stands a wish-fulfilling tree with 5 main branches, adorned with abundant leaves, flowers, and fruit, garlands of jewels, and tiny bells. It pervades the whole of space. In its center, upon a jeweled throne supported by lions and seats of multicolored lotus, sun and moon, is the embodiment of all the Buddhas, your own root master, in the form of Orgyen Dorje Chang, the Vajradhara of Odhyana, blue in color and holding Vajra and bell. He is in union with his consort Yeshe Tsogyal, who is white and holding a hooked knife and skull cup. They are adorned with silk and bone ornaments. The Guru is seated in the Vajra posture. Above his head are the masters of the Dzogchen lineage, seated one above the other. They are surrounded by the root and lineage masters, the Yidam deities of the various mandalas, associated with the 6 great classes of Tantra, and an inconceivable number of dakas and dakins of the 3 spheres. On the branch in front are Shakyamuni Buddha and all the other Buddhas of the 3 times in Nirmanakaya form. On the branch to the right is the Mahayana Sangha, including the 8 close sons. On the branch to the left are Shariputra and Maudgalyayana, and the assembly of the noble Sangha of Shravakas. On the branch at the back is the jewel of the Dharma in the form of stacks of books, red in colour, from which the vowels and consonants resound by themselves. In the space in between, there is a great ocean-like gathering of oath-bound and karmic guardians that fills the whole area without leaving any gaps. Consider how all these deities have immeasurable qualities of wisdom, love, and power, and are actually present as great guides who care for you and lead you along the path to enlightenment. You are before them with your father on your right and your mother on your left. In front of you are all the beings who have ever caused you harm, and in the whole surrounding area are all the sentient beings of the 6 realms. You all show respect with your body by folding your hands together. With your speech, you all chant resoundingly the verse for taking refuge, and with your mind, you think the following. From now until we realize the heart of enlightenment, we take the Master as our guide, the Yidam deities and Buddhas as our teachers, the Dharma as our path, and the Dakins, Dharma protectors, and members of the Sangha as companions along the way. We rely on you. We offer everything to you. We have no other refuge or hope but you. Whatever we do, take care of us. With this thought of intense yearning, consider that you take refuge. Practice like this as many times as possible. At the end, rays of light stream out from the hearts of the sources of refuge, entering your body and mind, and those of all other beings. This purifies your emotional and cognitive obscurations and habitual patterns. Consider that your lifespan is extended, your merit increases, and your qualities of learning and realization develop further and further. Rest in meditation for a while in a state that is free from any mental grasping. 2. The generation of bodhicitta. First, train your mind in the 4 boundless qualities. Begin by generating equanimity, in which there is no attachment to your family and close friends or aversion for your enemies. This comes from considering how, in the course of time, without beginning, among all sentient beings who are as limitless as space, those who have been your enemies have also been your friends, and those who have been close to you have at other times opposed you. Just as it was in the past, so too in the present and in the future, you cannot really say who is a friend and who is an enemy. Then generate love by considering how they have all been your very own kind mother and father, and wishing that they may find happiness in return for all the kindness they have shown you, and compassion by wishing that they never suffer. Finally, cultivate sympathetic joy, which is the elation you feel at the prospect of all beings remaining constantly in this state of complete happiness, free from all suffering. Next, take the objects of refuge as your witness and generate the bodhicitta of aspiration by thinking, so that all beings may be established in the enduring happiness of complete liberation. I will do whatever is necessary to ensure that I attain the precious state of complete enlightenment. Then develop the bodhicitta of application, thinking, To that end, having trained in vast waves of bodhisattva practices represented by this profound path, I shall apply myself with diligence until not even a single sentient being remains in saṃsāra. Not allowing your mind to stray from these reflections, recite the verses of generating bodhicitta 3 times, or as many times as you can. If you are unable to do all this as a regular practice, it is sufficient simply to generate the bodhicitta of aspiration and application. Should you wish to practice more elaborately, you could, at this point, train your mind in equalizing or exchanging self and others. In particular, you could do the practice of Tonglen by sending out happiness as you breathe out and receiving suffering as you breathe in. You could also meditate on absolute bodhicitta, the union of tranquility, shamatha, and insight, vipassana, inspired by a certainty regarding the selflessness of individuals and of phenomena. Finally, you and all sentient beings dissolve into the objects of refuge, who then dissolve into the Master in the center. In turn, he dissolves into the primordial expanse of Dharmakaya simplicity, and you rest in meditation. This compilation, in a brief, clear, and essential form, of the stages of visualization required for the regular practice of the Longchen Nyingtik Preliminaries from the Great Perfection, the excellent path to omniscience. Thank you for listening. Please refer to the written notes accompanying the recording for information on the translators. May all beings be free of suffering and reach enlightenment.